Joining me now is LA Times columnist Bill Shaikin, who has spent decades of covering both the Los Angeles Dodgers as well as the Angels there in Anaheim. Bill, thanks for taking a few moments to be with us. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the Angels and the Dodgers, I know you've spent a lot of time around the late, great Vin Scully. Any special moment you want to share with us?
You know, what's so wonderful to hear over the past couple days is that everybody has a story, not about how great a broadcaster Vin was, because we all know that, but about how genuine a person he was. And everybody says, boy, I met him and I thought, oh my God, it's Vin Scully. And he was so nice. And he talked to my grandmother, or he talked to my son. And then I wrote a story about him and he sent me a thank you note, or he gave me a phone call. And I got to say, I'm just so honored to include myself in that group. We did a story a few weeks ago about how Vin and Transistor Radio had helped introduce the Dodgers to Los Angeles back in the 50s. And dang, if he didn't call me to thank me for it.
He was a special man, as you mentioned, an unbelievable broadcaster, an even better person. The world is worse without Vin in it, and I'm glad that the Dodgers, of course, are doing something to honor him tonight at the stadium. Let's talk about those Dodgers, Bill. This is a team that's running away with the NL West, but they lose Clayton Kershaw to seemingly that ever-present back injury. What more can you tell us about that?
They're running some tests today, and so they should have a little better idea. But as you mentioned, this is not a new thing. This is the fifth time in 7 years that Clayton Kershaw has been troubled by back issues. And I guess if there's a good side, they have a better handle on how to manage it. And I think for the Dodgers, they're up by 12 and a half games in the National League West. So as it has been so often for them, September can be a matter of getting ready for the playoffs rather than trying to get into them. And they can figure out what they have for October, and we'll see where Clayton Kershaw fits in.
And when you think of October, they are getting reinforcements, Bill, because they will get Walker Buehler back. Dustin May just had an outing with OKC. They're going to get Blake Trinan back. They're going to get Brusdar Graterol back, among others. How soon is Walker Buehler? Can we expect him to be back?
That we don't know. Dustin May is out on rehab now, and the Dodgers expect him back in, probably a week or two. But Buehler's behind him, and I think the interesting thing will be to watch the timetable on him, because if it turns out that he doesn't have enough time to build into a starter's role for October, boy, the Dodgers are no strangers, as you know, Alana, to taking a successful starter and using him in the bullpen in October. Julio Urias got the save when the Dodgers won the World Series, and can you imagine Walker Buehler throwing hard for just one inning at a time in October? That could be a great option for the Dodgers.
Yeah, just ask Kenta Maeda and Julio Urias how they use starters in the bullpen. Alex Wood as well to a certain extent. I want to ask you, though, about Tony Gonsolin and Sean Manaea tonight. That's the matchup for this first game of a 3-game set. Tony Gonsolin's been tremendous all year, but now that the Padres look a little different in that lineup, top to bottom, Bill, what is your estimation about how this Padres team will compete against the Dodgers and the rest of the league the rest of the way?
I think it's a good team that has only gotten better. It's not as if the Padres were struggling this year as they were last year. So it's a really good team. Obviously, you get a lot deeper with Juan Soto and Josh Bell in your lineup. And, we haven't seen Fernando Tatis Jr. all year. So when everybody goes to watch the Padres and Dodgers this weekend, you say, well, who do you like? Do you like Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Trey Turner? Or do you like Juan Soto and Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr.? We're going to find that out, not this weekend, but soon, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love the fact that when they get Tatis back, it's going to be Tatis Jr. You're going to have Soto and Manny Machado as your 1, 2, 3. That is not a bad lineup. Okay, let's switch gears to the Angels. And Bill, it's doing, the Angels are doing things like the Angels do it. 7 solo shots and they lose the game. How is that even possible?
If you had to pick one game to sort of summarize what's happened to the Angels this year, I suspect that would be your one. 7 home runs and you lose. But it's unfortunately all too routine that summers descend into September anonymity in Anaheim, and the clock is ticking on Shohei Ohtani. He doesn't have to sign with the Angels. He's a free agent after next year. And he said after yesterday's game, the morale isn't so great. It's hard to find reasons to come to the ballpark every day and you go out and you play hard, but there's no October glory waiting at the end of the wings. And so, the Angels have brought in a new manager for 2019, a new manager for 2020, a new general manager for 2021. They dismissed the manager in the middle of 2022. They might have a new manager next year. That inconsistency makes it really hard to win.
Bill Shaikin with the Los Angeles Times, covering all of Major League Baseball, of course, but we certainly appreciate your insight on the Angels and the Dodgers. We appreciate you taking a few moments to be with me here on High Heat.